All right, let's dive into a pretty radical idea from our source material today. What if the real path to success isn't about grabbing the reins tighter, but about strategically letting go? We're going to see how this one core principle applies to basically everything, from nature to the stock market and even to the way our own minds and bodies work.
So let's start with the central paradox here. We're told constantly, right? Hustle, grind, manage every single detail, and force things to happen. But what if the key to getting truly amazing results is the complete opposite? What if it really is about just letting go?
At the absolute heart of this whole philosophy is a really simple, but you'll see incredibly powerful idea from our source. It's called the principle of non-interference.
So what does non-interference even mean? Well, at its core, it's just the practice of not meddling with how systems are supposed to work on their own. It's about recognizing that so many things, from an ecosystem to our own bodies, already have this kind of built-in wisdom, a natural rhythm. The key isn't about being passive, it's about being more perceptive.
And this is where it gets really practical. The source makes a super direct claim here. This isn't just about feeling good, it's about getting real, tangible results. The thinking is that these natural systems are already optimized. So when we try to force them to do something else, we just end up creating resistance. When you stop fighting the current, you can actually start using its power to your advantage.
So, where can we actually see this principle in action? Our source material points to two gigantic, complex systems that affect every single one of us: the natural world and, financial markets. Now this is a fascinating leap, isn't it? Our source draws a line between two things we almost never put in the same sentence: ecology and the economy. The suggestion is that they both act like these incredibly complex, adaptive systems that have their own internal logic, a logic that, honestly, often doesn't care about our attempts to control it.
And this slide really lays it all out. Whether you're dealing with the flow of a river or the flow of capital, the advice is exactly the same. Stop meddling. The source argues that when you respect the inherent nature of these systems, you just have a higher probability of success. The big takeaway here is that trying to outsmart a really complex system is usually a losing game.
Okay, this is where we're going to go deep. Because this principle doesn't just apply to the world out there. The source material turns this whole lens inward, arguing that the most important systems we can learn not to meddle with are our own minds and bodies. Now, this slide presents the source's specific claims on what it calls internal non-interference. So on the mental side, it suggests we meddle by overthinking, by trying to force our thoughts, which just creates noise instead of clarity. And on the physical side, the source points to a specific practice, semen retention, as its example of not interfering with the body's natural energy. The underlying idea for both your mind and your body is that these are self-regulating systems, and by stepping back, we actually allow them to find their own best state.
So, if we actually do this, if we really stop meddling with the world outside and the world inside, what's the ultimate payoff? What's the big promise at the end of all this?
And this is the really profound conclusion from our source. The reward for not meddling isn't just, a little more efficiency or a bit less stress. It's about unlocking a level of potential that you literally cannot even imagine. It's about allowing the unbelievable complexity of these systems to achieve things that our conscious meddling could never, ever accomplish.
As we wrap up this explainer, I just want to leave you with this question. Think about your own life for a second. Your career, your relationships, your health, even just the flow of your own thoughts. Which system could benefit not from more effort, but from more trust? Which part of your life might completely transform if you just stopped meddling?